Hey guys, another training week overview. This is going to be the only video this week as I am in Seattle for work. I'm going to try to get some clips while I'm traveling and maybe I can talk about that, but probably no other content until I get back home. So you're going to watch all 4 days of my training, just going to show you the real main movements. It was similar to last week where I just really didn't have a lot of time for a bunch of the accessories anyways, but on day one, the top movement was these paused or pin squats, if you will, with 375 pounds, a top set of 5, which was supposed to be at an RPE 7. I actually rated this one at a 6, and this is 375 because that's actually a squat bar that I'm using, so it weighs 55 pounds. Then I had some back offs after that. I also wanted to show you some of the actual back off works from the side, just because, as I mentioned in the last video, for these pin or strap squats, if you will, I actually set it just above parallel, and that's so I can actually kind of hit them, so to say. If I were to put these exactly where I hit depth, it would be very hard for me to actually get some of that tension relief off of there. So that's why they're just a little bit above parallel. I found it a little bit weird because it kind of changes my squat pattern, I feel like, so I just need to get used to doing these. But then again, it's only really the second time I've ever done them. From there, on day one, also I do some bench press. I consider this more of my rep day, so I did 3 sets of 8 at 240. I rated these at a last set of RPE 6, and that's why a lot of this training stuff goes, rating the actual last set instead of the first or second or third or fourth. So these have been moving pretty good, and bench has been feeling pretty good this whole training cycle, which is surprising. It's still not where it needs to be, but just day to day, bench feels really good. Day 2, as you can tell by the outfit change, the top work here was block pull, so 3x6, which was supposed to be at an RPE 6 or 7. I went with 455 pounds here. I rated this as a 6. I kind of like these because I feel like I'm getting a good back position here, and I say that because I'll talk about that a little bit on day 4 when I do my real deadlifts from the floor. I've kind of just been all over the place when it comes to deadlifts, which is interesting because that's kind of a lift I don't normally tend to think about too much, and instead I can focus on like squat or bench, and usually it's my bench that struggles, but bench has been feeling good, squat's been feeling good, and deadlifts have just been not there just yet. I'm hoping it's just kind of fatigue built up with all the other work I'm doing. As I say that, you're completely missing I think something around the 4 sets of 3 of tempo bench with 250. Again, rated that at an RPE 6. So we move on to day 3 here. Top set of squats called for a set of 2 at 6.5 and then a set of 2 at 7.5 before a bunch of back offs. So my top set of 2 that was supposed to be RPE 6.5 was 475. I put this at a 6 because it felt really, really good. 505, first time I've squatted over 500 in probably about 6 months. In fact, I think all of 2019. This was supposed to be at a 7.5. I rated it at a 7, but it felt really good, which I'm very, very happy about. Like I said, squats have been feeling fantastic. Bench has been feeling fantastic. That brings us to day 4, deadlift day. Kind of similar in setup. Top set of 3 at 6.5, then a top set of 3 at 7.5. For the 6.5, I went with 495. This felt like a 6. For my next top set at 7.5, I went with 545, and I rated this at an 8, so a little bit of an overshoot. And again, I feel like my back's just really sloppy here, and I've kind of been going back and forth about how I want it. It doesn't necessarily hurt my back or fatigue my back to lift like this, but I just think overall, progression-wise, it's probably hindering me to have this kind of sloppy and loose form, and deadlift right now is the only lift I don't really feel really tight or confident in, so I'm hoping I can kind of fix that over the course of the next 15 weeks or so. From there, moved on to bench, and it called for 4 sets of 2 at 290, and bench has been feeling really good, as I mentioned. So these RPEs always feel really lighter than they're supposed to be. So on the last working set of bench, I actually pushed a little bit because I had in my mind that these were all RPE of 8. So I did my first 2 sets and decided to see if I could do 2 more, which would have been a true RPE 8. And I got 2 more, and I felt like I could have still done at least another rep. So I rated the last set RPE here at 7. So training went well. Deadlifts suck, but I'll fix that hopefully. Hope everyone has a good week, and we'll talk to you next time.